Hi. Hi. I'm Carl, and we're supposed to do, this is my club, Örebro HEMA. We're supposed to do a little bit of a show for you at 6 o'clock, but as far as I understand, you're a bit behind schedule. So I think we plan to do some, let you guys touch and feel and like ask questions like this face to face. So I think we'll start with this. So real quick, we are a club that does HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts, which is martial art based on recreating the martial arts that we have sources for, which basically at this point means from the 13th century up until Second World War. That's basically what the period that we find HEMA in. Our club is based around 3 weapons: the Italian rapier from the 16th century, German longsword, and Swedish military saber. We only have a rapier. We won't do any rapiers fencing today, but we mostly do longsword. But that's what we do. So this is basically, we are trying to fence the way people fenced back in the day. And fencing, like with swords and stuff, is very much surrounded now with like these Hollywood myths and this Dungeons and Dragons weights. I don't know if there are any other nerds here, but
there are no
I
nerds here.
No nerds. No, like, but if you look at it, people have a very strange idea about how much a sword weighs. This is a sharp longsword, which is a copy of an actual longsword from the 14th century, and this is like 1.5 kilo. Super light. And this is an actual sword, so you don't need to go like because there's no point, and the other guy will kill you. So we'll do 3 demonstrations for you. One staged fight, where we'll try to mix theater and like the way Hollywood might be able to do it if they hired decent stunt people. And then we'll show you like a normal bout, because we compete in this and we train like sparring in our club. So we'll do 1 military saber bout for you and then 1 longsword bout. And then we're open for more questions. But since we'll be waiting for a couple more people, feel free to come up to us and feel and touch and ask. Touch the swords. Okay, so come. And this one is sharp, so don't feel anything. Okay. So hi, I'm Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Hello. This is Jesper. This is Christopher. And we are going to do a couple of demonstrations for you now. The first one will be sort of like a staged duel, where I, in all my hubris, have challenged 2 different fencers. The techniques we'll be using in this one are, we are mixing both Italian longsword fighting, Portuguese two-handed sword, and German longsword fighting. Those are the different types of treatises that the techniques that we are doing are taken from. But this is based on historical treatises and sort of like a staged way, stealing some Hollywood stuff, but trying to show how fencing could be done in a more historical way. The swords we are using are called featherschwerts, and they are made to resemble sharp swords. If you take a sword and you make the edge blunt, you need to remove mass from the blade. Otherwise, the sword won't weigh as a sharp one, right? That's pretty easy to understand. You can't just make the edges thicker without removing anything. Otherwise, the sword will be heavier. So that's why the swords are a bit thinner. And this one is just to make them not too thin and to like create a good balance in the sword. Tilt is what this is called. After this, we're going to do a quick demonstration on Swedish military saber, followed up by an actual like bout, the way we train and compete with longswords. Okay. So we're going to start with our duel now. Feel free to cheer for the hero, which is naturally me. Woo! The hero!
Kick him! Job his fucking head off!
So, we're going to move on to some saber fencing now. I'm just going to let Christopher get his kit in order. We didn't do this much thrusting now. Longsword fencing is actually a lot about thrusting in the earlier treatises, but less and less so in the later ones, because thrusting is so incredibly dangerous. So if you thrust each other, someone will die, and we don't want that. Well, he's getting changed. Any questions?
Tired?
Tired, yeah, a bit winded. Someone asked if you're tired after fighting for a bout, and no, maybe not for a bout, but this is a bit more intense, because when you compete, you'll go to the first hit. So we'll engage, and I'll hit just for the face, and we will return to our corners. The judges will call the results, and we'll basically see that as one finished duel. And then you start the next duel, and in this duel, so we're returning. He gets the point. So you don't really, when you train, get this long of fencing. But that's why I'm a bit winded. I beg your pardon for that. Any other questions? Yes.
Was all of that choreographed, or was it sort of freestyle?
Most were choreographed.
Yep.
Yeah.
The close quarter fighting, so it's essentially kind of judo moves and movement of positions. Is it just basically a learned thing, or from over time it's been added on so you can do the close quarter? Because essentially you're doing a long battle
Yeah.
with a distance, and then when you get in close, is that all learned on kind of martial arts level?
Yeah, and like when you talk about fencing, especially the German word fechten, that basically means to fight. And the treatises, especially the longsword ones, are basically not just longsword, they're also dagger, and they're also wrestling, which is called the ringen. And if you look at, there are like pure ringen treatises, And those are very similar to judo. You'll use a lot of like you're grabbing the clothes of the guy, and you're doing a lot of the same throws. But in especially the Italian treatises, most of the grappling stuff we did now is from treatise from 1409, which is likely now, it wasn't 2 years ago, but it's likely now dated as the oldest longsword treatise. And that's a lot about crossing the swords, and then you get in and you do something to the other guy. But that's basically what the treatise is about. So you can assume that either the context in which this treatise was written was a lot about disarming the other guy, maybe you got a lot of honor like in your culture from that, or the guy who wrote that treatise was just a great grappler. We don't know, but it's a lot of grappling in that treatise. Okay, we're going to keep with the questions, so we'll let these guys do just a normal bout while we get changed for longsword. Yeah, let's give them an applause. happen, and when you hit, you have to defend as well. So if Jesper hits my hand, bounce, he needs to cover his head, bounce. Otherwise, I will still get my 2 points. He just get 1 point, which makes me 1 point. So when Christopher just went for Oscar's leg, while getting hit in the head, Oscar would have scored the point because he hit the head. And basically, it was also what we call a double hit, when both are getting hit within the same tempo. We don't really like that. There's a system of where you reduce your victory points, sort of, when you get doubles. So basically, you want to hit the other guy without getting hit. That's what it's about. And that was Swedish military saber. Sweden has only been good at one weapon, and that was saber in the 1830s, where we got, like, you know, the world fairs they had back in those days. Swedes got invited to them to fight both right and left-handed, because that's what Swedes could do. That's our parenthesis in the fencing history. We could fight with both hands. For like 5 years. Very cool.
Was not cool anymore.
And now some long sword fighting. choreography, the techniques are significantly harder to spot and it looks a bit more messy, but like most of the things we did in the choreography were somewhere present in this, but the tempo is higher and it's not as clean. But basically that's the case with all like martial arts. There's a difference between Budo, when you do exact techniques against an opponent who knows what you're supposed to do because the style is part of it, or fighting, which is what we do and what they did 600 years ago. We're happy to talk to you guys again now when you've seen it, so come to us and ask your questions. Thank you so much, you've been a great audience.